Check it out. Kill the rhythm on the bass bar. Man up, kill the rhythm on the bass bar. Hit me the drum and come the wrong one. Test me. Pump it up. Pump it up.
All right. Hello, chain breakers. How are y'all doing today? I have a special guest, my husband, Solomon Savoy, here with me today. So we want to welcome you. Solomon, you want to say something?
Sure. I'm happy to be here. We're going to break this thing down the best way we can. Got a couple of video clips and stuff we're going to play. Hey, follow me on Faith-Based Workplace over there, and you won't be disappointed.
Amen. We starting off already with the sound effects, okay? All right, here's Solomon's information, and we'll go over it again at the end, all right? So thank y'all for being here. Today we are talking about love and you know, before, really during and after narcissist abuse. We're going to examine some parts of the Dear Future Wifey interview with Danae Jackson and Latarius Whitfield. So hats off to both of them for being willing for Latarius for having that platform, and then Danae for having the courage to go on that platform. So our scripture reference for today, one of them is the blessings of God are added without sorrow. All right. That's Proverbs 10:22. So when something comes from God, it's going to have blessings attached to it. It won't have curses attached to it. And we can see that we're going to examine this so we can learn some lessons, because there's some red flags. There's some things that can be examined in here. And we want to see what we can learn and what lessons we can learn and how to do better as we go into relationships. So this is something that Solomon and I had to examine. And so we want to examine this to see how, you know, the red flags, see what we can learn as well. Okay. All right. So you want to get right into this clip?
Yes.
Excuse me.
What a thing is that? You touching this still?
Oh, sorry, y'all. Look, this is just impromptu, right? There we go.
You just do it.
Oh, can I do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, this episode or this season has been coined miracles and manifestation. We've been believing God to do some amazing things. This episode is nothing short of God's miraculous hand. When I first when I first met this young lady through social media, through some drama that she had encountered, I said, I want the opportunity to speak to her. And I just lightly threw that up to God. And a couple of years later, God would allow that to happen. Are y'all ready for this? Without further ado, welcome to the Dear Future Wifey podcast. My new homie, Danae Jackson.
Hey,
what's going on?
Hey, yeah.
All right. So that is Miss Danae Jackson. All right. She is on the show, and we're going to play a few clips. We don't want to play too much. All right. But we wanted to show y'all, for those who don't know who she is, we wanted to show you who she is. Okay. So I'm sure by now, a lot of you know that she was married to Derek Jackson, who calls himself a life coach, who has built a platform on giving women advice on what type of men to stay away from. And it looks like, if I'm just being totally honest, it looks like he was giving advice to women about staying away from men such as himself. So what do you think about that?
I just feel that people like him, and there's a lot of people like that. Whenever a man seeking women to give advice to and not giving advice to other men, I look at them with the side eye. And same thing with women. If women just looking at men to give advice to and not really talking to the sisters, it's like, you know, okay.
As a man, your viewpoint could be a little different. Yeah, I can see that. So when Danae was talking, we're not going to show every clip. We'll show a few clips here. But when she was talking, she talked about, let me lay the foundation. So earlier in her life, she was sexually abused, I believe at the age of, was it 16 or something like that? I can't remember the age, or 19 or something
19,
like that. Yeah, she had went to a party and they were drinking, and she didn't tell her mom about it or anything like that, and they were drinking, and she experienced some, sexual trauma. Okay, something happened to her that never should have happened to her. All right, and that event kind of set the stage for her life's course to where she is today. And then you can see, I think 3 weeks later after that, I think she said, like 3 weeks later, she met Derek Jackson on the campus, I think, of Tuskegee or HBCU. So you can see how she was vulnerable, and you can see how narcissists groom and condition you. Did any of you go through that, went through a event and something traumatic happened to you, or something had happened to you in your past, and the narcissist came in, and then you begin to tell them, because I don't think she told anyone about it, you begin to tell only them and share your secrets and share everything, but the narcissist is using that information as demonic intel. So she was vulnerable, and from a psychological perspective, her dad had died when she was younger, and he didn't sound like he really wanted a boy or something to that effect. So she did a lot of things to get her dad's attention, kind of become tomboyish and do things like that. So from a psychological perspective, and I don't diagnose narcissists, but I do discern, but it seems like she was dating her dad. And from a spiritual perspective, this was a familiar spirit. Like Derek Jackson came in the form, or these demons came in the form of Derek Jackson, all right, to prey on her. And then because her parents didn't seem like at that time they were ready, her dad wasn't there for her, so she was fighting for his affection. And you can see how years later that tied into that fear of rejection. You want to say anything on that? Okay, so that tied into that fear of rejection. Okay, so you can see how how when we're unhealed, you will overlook the red flags, and how the father issues or the mother issues tie into that. All right, and you do things even at the cost of your self-worth and self-esteem, because when you find what you think is love, if you've never had love or never had the real love and affection of a parent, that can lead you. And even if you did have love, if something went wrong in there, that'll lead you looking for love in all the wrong places. And what you think is love, you'll do everything to keep it. So she didn't want to lose the so-called love, but it really wasn't love. It was love bombing. So he saw her in the classroom. And for those of you who watched it, did you watch it? For those of you who watched it, he saw her in the classroom, shy, introverted, kind of, and to be totally honest, it looked like she was going through, a little ugly duckling phase. Not that she's ugly or anything, but we all go through those weird kind of transitional phases. I've been there, all right. And then later on, you can see how she's blossoming, but you can see how she was vulnerable. She had unprocessed trauma. And when this man came in, he's attractive, well built, and she thought she found the prize, so he love bombed her and, got her to let her guard down, and he built her up to tear her down. Anything on that?
Yeah, I think the way he set that up is like a setup. It's like throwing an alley hoop and watching somebody dunk it. So he basically threw her the alley hoop and she dunked it. But the way he did it, it just, I don't know, it's diabolical, just evil. Mm-hmm. So he, I say that a lot, like he preyed on her, not P-R-A-Y, P-R-E-Y. That's what he did. Mm-hmm. And then he used that to his advantage, like what Shannon was saying. So he looked at her like the quiet little introvert, and mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying, for what she was saying, she was, I think she was saying she was a little bit chubby, but she pretty woman, but I think he used that to his advantage. He's seen the opportunity, and it's just like we talk about when people see a way in, that's what they do. So he's mm-hmm. seen a way in and seen a way to manipulate her, and he went for the kill, and that's what he did.
Yeah, good point. Good point. All right, let's go to this next clip. We'll show a little bit of this one, and then we'll talk on it a little bit. Let's go bigger. There we go. All right.
That I had. And so as I grew up into my adult life, I definitely would say it was more in that aspect. So
when you think about abandonment, what do you go back on when you hear yourself say, when I think about the abandonment that I've come from? Let's unpack that.
yeah, so abandonment. With my father, I had teenage parents. My mom was 16 when she had me. My father was 18. They never really had a relationship per se. They were just supposed to be playing video games.
They were playing with other things.
Surprise! Here you go. Merry Christmas, right? Because my birthday is in December, a couple days before Christmas. So
Okay.
video games, here I go, the present. And so, you know, there's a little bit of rejection and abandonment there, right? Because I never really had parents that were a couple.
Yeah.
Right. And then in that, because of that, you know, there was some question about whether or not I was actually my father's or not. And so then I had that, even though I wasn't even born yet to receive that per se, but that still affected me because I grew up and found out about that. And then there was rejection. And then just the relationship that I had with my father growing up, I felt like he just wasn't as present as he could be, or he would always not come through or follow through on his promises.
So how many of us can relate to that, right? How many of us can relate to that? Not having, you know, father or mother, or even if, and they can be present in the home and still not, you know, and something still be missing from that. So you can see how, even though we think we're healed from certain things, how that still affected her. So it's so layered. Okay. Yeah. So what do you think about that? Anything on that, Solomon?
It just goes back to what I was saying on my live the other day on Wednesday, that unhealed trauma, it's going to show its ugly head at some point. So the abandonment that she's talking about and her father not being there, I mean, it's just played a part into who she was. That shy introvert, it all played a part into who she was. So again, when Derrick Jackson seen that, now I don't know if he realized then that she had father, mama, daddy issues or whatever, but I'm pretty sure at some point he realized that she had daddy issues, because usually as people, we want to share and we share too much. So she probably told him, yeah, my daddy abandoned me and he never wanted me. And then Derrick's like, okay, I'm going to use this to my advantage at some point. And I don't know Derrick from a hole in the wall, but just looking at the story from what I know, I guarantee that's probably what he did. Because like I said, we share too much. Sometimes you're sharing with the enemy and the enemy will use that against you, because we're in spiritual warfare, we're in physical warfare. So they're going to use those things against you. So
that's a good point. So she opened up and told him a lot of stuff that she had never shared with anybody. And then, so that's a trauma bond, right? Yeah. So we see how the trauma bond works. So now a traumatic event happened. And then here comes this, you know, guy to kind of save the day and, you know, be everything that she ever wanted. So we can see how the trauma bond, now that she's trauma bonded and now she's soul tied or gaining a soul tie with this man. Okay, so let's go to the next clip. Let's see, let me make it a little bigger.
You're right. And so it was like one of those classic fairy tale kind of stories in that regard. But he asked me to tutor him. We met up in the library, and you know, I'm so awkward. He's like, I'm sitting on the opposite end of the table, and I'm just like this.
Way across.
Yeah, way across. And I'm just like, okay, are you ready? And he's like, why are you so like stiff? Like, why are you sitting that far? Like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh, okay. You know, oh, it is okay to like be a little bit closer.
Had you not been in a relationship before then? You haven't had a boyfriend?
I had a high school boyfriend.
Yeah.
And but it was I went to all white high school.
Okay.
So, okay, let's put this in some context. I went to all white high school pretty much. There were some black people there, of course, but it was different than going to all black college. So,
oh yeah, the culture shock,
right? And so
you said, where all this swag coming from?
Right.
These guys.
I don't even know what this means. Like, I don't know what that is. You know, it's different in a more diverse or lack of diversity.
So you can see how that plays into that, right? So she's like a sitting duck, y'all. Oh my goodness. And she's so funny, you know. When you watch this, you see how well spoken she is, you see how articulate she is, that this lady is not crazy. Now narcissist, now I'm not saying that the narcissist was trying to bring her to the brink of insanity, but this lady is not crazy. All right. And many of us have been through that. Okay. And we see how if you watch the video, he was charming, he was funny. He asked her, was she a model? Now to somebody, and I think she was a little overweight then. So it seemed like, man, if you don't know anything about a narcissist, you think that, oh my, look, I have met my soulmate. Isn't that what they tell us? That they have met, that she has met her soulmate, you know, but she didn't meet a soulmate. She met a soulmate. She met somebody that was trying to, use her vulnerabilities against her. But if you don't know, it just seems like a classic fairy tale. And I've met my knight in shining armor, and you know, and that's it. But you can see how all that played apart. Here comes this attractive man. She has unresolved trauma, and like Solomon always says, it affects you. If you don't deal with that trauma, it will definitely affect you. Okay, so let's see what the next clip is. Let me go. Yeah, anything you want to say on that, Solomon?
Nah, man, it's just, you can just see it. It's just classic narcissism. And you see what's going on. How he swooped in, like you said, Captain Saver, you know what, and you know, seen a little girl in distress, and she, you know, not, you know, I don't know who she dated before. Like she said, she had a high school boyfriend, but this is different. This is in college. She coming from a predominantly white high school, going to a HBCU. That's a whole culture shock. So you seeing all these black chocolate men and whatever, and she like, oh wow. She's saying this guy, from what she's saying, he was, you know, pretty in shape and everything. So it just threw her for a loop. And then it's like, you know, it's one of them things where you ask yourself, oh, why me? Like, why he want me? Yeah, he wants you because he about to use you and abuse you. So that's why he chose you. So.
That's good. That's good. All right, let me set this up.
But he didn't really know he was consoling me about his indiscretion as opposed to the lie that I told him. Right. And so all of that is toxic behavior. And I had to go back and really deal with that later on once I started to realize that, hey, Janae, you are not well. You are not okay. And really deal with why I was doing that and unpack it. So.
And so on again, off again, situationship, commitment, lack thereof. 9 years you go through this, and you said right before y'all got married or got engaged, y'all wasn't even together. Please help me understand that.
Yeah, so before we moved to Atlanta, we were off. We got off because he was dealing with some girls and things like that, and it was a issue. And at that point, I was very like hostile and all that towards him, just like, I'm not gonna deal with this, and you're a, you know, F-boy and all these things, right? I had some different kind of choice words and language at that time, and then the Lord saved me, my mouth. Thank God for deliverance.
I think a lot of people give you a pass on whatever word you decide to use back then.
But no, at that time I had asked him, I was like, do you believe the things that you're saying, right? Because this is at the beginning of his career, really like taking off. And I'm like, do you believe the things that you're saying? And it really caused a rift. And so we were off. And so that time that we were off, we were still messing
because
around.
You questioned whether or not he believed that which he was sharing with the masses on avoiding F-boys and that type of stuff. Y'all fell out because you asked him if he truly believed what he was saying?
I asked him that, yes.
And that's a good point. So she asked him, did he believe? Because there's that duality. It's like being married to a preacher, and then they're doing all these things to you behind the pulpit, or, you know, behind closed doors. Because what do we always say about narcissists is that they are public angels and private devils. So she realized, like, she was dating somebody who was not practicing what they preach. So how can you get up and teach this and preach this, right? A whole bunch of them red flags. We should have brought more in here for that, right? So those red flags was red flagging, right? So he's not preaching what he's teaching. And so there's that duality with the narcissist. Anything on that?
No.
That's crazy. So even before, and I guess I want to hit on even before they got married, he was already cheating on her. That's a major red flag. If somebody is cheating on you before you get married, no, baby. No, stop the press. Hold up. Okay, something in the buttermilk is definitely not clean. So I wanted to show this other clip. I'm going back a little bit, and then we'll keep going. Let me see if she talks about this here. I think this is where she talks about it. Let's see.
And so here I go setting them up. And it worked.
Fabian. So how'd y'all set it up?
So we would be at work conspiring, and there's actually a group of us. All right, we would be at work conspiring, and I'm coming over. Like let me come over to your house, you know, after this, or I'm gonna come out late, or I'm gonna tell him that I'm with all the girls, but we're gonna like link up and do this.
Okay, and I just wanted to show that clip, like those are the games that narcissists play, and then they will have you playing the same game. So he was triangulating her, and then she started playing the same games. This is why I say get away from a narcissist. Look, because then you can turn narcissistic by playing their game. So he, you know, she was jealous of the other women, so she started trying to make him jealous of her with another man. But narcissists definitely triangulate you. All right, he purposely triangulated her with other women, and it messes you up. All right, it messes you up in the head, and then you begin to play the same games that they played. Okay. And I don't know if right. No, that's good. That's good. And I don't know if I have the part marked, but I'm going to read this, okay? She said, I knew several other women's bodies better than I knew my own. I went in such a deep hole where I was like studying these women. I would go to their profiles and I would study their pages and like what they wear. I knew when they met up. That's deep. I watched their videos of them having sex. So I would try to imitate that and recreate that in our relationship so he could choose me. You want to talk about that first?
Yeah, basically, if you think about it, she wasn't even being herself. She wasn't being true to herself. She was being these other women. So it wasn't, how you say her name? Danae? Yeah, Danae was not Danae. She was, you know, Sheila, and remember how DMX had this song where he named all them people? That so she was all those girls. I don't know y'all remember that DMX song. You know, he named like 30 women, you know what I'm saying? About 2 Ken, what? So she has been all those people, because when you think about it, everybody he was sleeping with and cheating on with, she thought if she brought that to the bedroom or brought that to the relationship or acted like this woman, that would make him come home. But it never worked. So if you look at it from this point of view, it don't matter what you do with a narcissist. You can buy them money. You can try to love bomb. I guess it's a new term about to come up with. You can reverse love bomb them and do all this stuff, and it's still not gonna help you. So I don't care what you do. You can, you know, try to implement the sex and all this stuff that these women doing. It's not going to change. You can watch porno and be like, okay, if I try this, it's not gonna help. So it don't matter what you, and this to men and women. I know we talking about a woman and a man relationship, but even to the men, I mean, if you watching your wife or whatever go out there and do this with other men, because let's be honest, men go through this as well, and you watching videos thinking you do it like this, or you get buff like this guy, or you get a better job, and maybe she's not gonna stay. So if you all these, like we say, the red flags with everything that's going on, she cheating on you before you get in a relationship, or he cheating on you before you get in a relationship, that should be a key indicator that they should leave. And I know a lot of us, and me included, you go through that and you thinking, well, maybe they go change. Well, no, what I know now, the narcissist is only going to change for the worse. So you thinking you can change them. None of us are God, so you're not going to change them. So just pump your brakes. If they cheated on you once, just give it. It's not baseball. You don't need 3 strikes and you're out. It's one time and okay, we done. Especially if y'all not married. You ain't got children together. Y'all not married. Even you got children together, you done. You've done. You finished. So go ahead and call it quits. But you can see in this case, she was so in love with him and obsessed with him that she wanted to do whatever she could to please him. And I guarantee if he would have asked her to bring another woman into the bedroom, she'd have agreed to it. She'd be like, okay, yeah, let's do it. And that wouldn't have worked either. Yeah. I'm just saying.
Yeah. And you see, and whether or not she would have did it, it's a lot of women that do that. Like the man, those are all good points. The man can convince them to do whatever, because it's idolatry, y'all. This is not marriage. This is idolatry. This is outside of the will of God. God doesn't want you in a relationship, in a marriage like that. And then I remember she said, and I don't know if I show that part, but she was saying like she won. Like out of all the women, she felt like she was the winner because he ended up marrying her. Don't you know there are women, it's like that pimpish culture, right? Where the man, the woman just wants to be chosen. This is a pick me, this is a pick me. You understand me? And a lot of us have been there. And this is what happens when we don't know ourselves, when we don't know our identity, and we allow rejection, when rejection sets in, okay? So yeah, let's play another clip and then we'll keep going.
Yeah, she ain't win no prize.
No.
She won a demon.
A whole demon. We're gonna talk about that too.
Which I did not have. But allowed him basically like, okay, I'm being like in his mind, I'm being disrespectful, I'm being unappreciative. But he's done all this changing and actually asked for me to marry him, and here I go, just bringing up all this stuff from the past, And
would you say he was on his best behavior during that time?
Define best behavior. Okay. So if we're talking about so we have to define best behavior.
Okay, we're gonna define it as not messing with other women at this point.
Okay, we're gonna have to define that too.
Oh.
Okay, so listen. Okay, I'll put it this way. Were there women that he had still had contact with in some way that he's had a sexual relationship with or some sort? Those people were always there. That he was always constantly having at least a minimum a dialogue with them.
Okay.
So you're not even in a marriage with what is like that's not even a marriage. That's not a marriage.
It's an open marriage.
It is. It's like an open. That's a good point. It's like an open marriage. All right. And then she didn't even want to say anything to him. I know we're skipping around a little bit. She didn't even want to say anything to him because now he's in his mind, he set her up. He's chosen her. So now she should just be quiet. I'll put you in this 9,000 square foot house. I'll put you in this house. I'll put you in this mansion. You should just be quiet because you're the winner. I chose you. Remember, I'm the one. I'm the good looking man that chose you. Pick me. I picked you. So you should just shut up, man. So he acted like he was doing her a favor. And that's what they do. A lot of women are in relationships with narcissists. All right. And they stay partly because of the financial means, okay, because that man has the financial means, and men do the same thing. All right, they stay because they don't want to pay child support, or they feel like the women has backed them into a corner, or that they've done something together and they don't want other people to find out about it. It's so many reasons why people stay, but financial somebody put you up, they put you up to shut you up. Do you understand me? And that's what he was trying to do, because to a narcissist that justified why he could do whatever he wanted to do. It's like that old way of thinking how men used to do in the old days, where they would have women everywhere and they could get away with that because the woman didn't have financial means. And that's something to women. Look, I don't care if you are put up. You better be about your father's business. Get on your job. All right. Look, find some way to make some money. God has put gifts and talents inside of you. You never just rest on that. Okay. We all have kingdom purpose inside of us, because when you with the wrong person, they will use money against you. And she couldn't even say anything, because if she said something, his demons would manifest. Okay. Exactly. That's right on time. Okay, so let's go to the next clip, and then we're almost finished with part 1. Thank y'all for being here. Y'all okay? Put it in the comments. Put something in the comments. I'll sound like Solomon. Put it in the comments. Let me move it over here.
And then whatever I said in college, where I'm like, I will leave you or whoever I will leave and take this baby with me and go back to Colorado, have my mama and my people out there help me raise this child. We've been doing it, that mentality.
Yeah.
And he was like, he can't have that. He wants to be involved and all that. So I think all of those at least played a factor into it.
So now you're pregnant. People don't know it. You're walking down the aisle. Y'all just dealt with some stuff 3 weeks prior. You have reason to believe that this other woman that you already know he messed around with, she's posting stuff for the world to see on Instagram, hearts around it. He behind her, they taking his picture. He tried to hide the actual haircut appointment. And so you already suspect about that. You get married. That day, was that a day of wedded bliss? Were you happy that you try to put everything behind the veil and said, I'm going to put all the past behind us. We're going to start afresh. We're going to start anew. And I am now Mrs. Jackson. Call me Miss Jackson if you're nasty.
Yes. All of the above. No, I was so excited to be getting married. And again, my mentality at that time is more like, I'm getting married. Everything is like my dream wedding.
And I won.
And so everything is falling into place. The only agitation I had was because I was pregnant and I was hungry. And you know, the wedding timeline sometimes.
So do you hear that? What did you hear, Solomon?
I mean, from what I get out of it, for some reason, I think she thought that the marriage certificate would change the man.
Mm-hmm.
The marriage certificate, that piece of paper, that doesn't change the person.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you see, she said that he cheated 3 weeks before they got married.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go. Let me hit the rewind on my thing. Hold on. I do this on my channel a lot, the rewind. So if you think back what she had said earlier, mm-hmm. that they was on again, off again for 9 years. Mm-hmm. If God is involved in your relationship, it ain't gonna be no on and off, on and off. It's gonna be just straight on. You go get married. You gonna have problems and issues because that's with any marriage. But then you should see some progression, like going through. It's like what I always talk about. You start off in kindergarten. You shouldn't still be in kindergarten. They still stuck in kindergarten and they about to get married. And they got married. So I'm like, the relationship never was a relationship. It was what we call a situationship. So they never were actually in marital bliss. I'm pretty sure that night she probably didn't even want to have sex with him that night because she think about the woman he just cheated with 3 weeks ago. Yeah. So everything, that whole relationship wasn't a relationship. It was just a means to an end. At some point or sometime, it was gonna come to an end.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. And then to me, with her, it seemed like, which is what a lot of us do, it was more about the marriage. It was more about being chosen. It was more about the fantasy. She didn't really say too much about him in that clip. It was more like, I'm solidified. Like I'm getting this marriage. I'm getting my fantasy. I'm getting my idol, my ideal of marriage. That's what it seemed like to me. So that's interesting. So
I'm on a journey to
so it seems like it was idolatry, it really was. All right, so let's go on to pieces of, let me see if there's anything. Yes, so the narcissist tries to break your soul. Okay, we went over a few key points. Put them in the comments, anything that stood out to you in the first video, because of course we can't cover everything. So anything that stood out to you, put it in the comments so we can see if other people saw it. If you didn't see it, anything that stood out to you. And I put this in my last video. Narcissist abuse is unlike any other abuse. It is emotional abuse. It is Solomon said this earlier. It is spiritual warfare. And I don't know if a lot of people, I think she's aware of it now, but a lot of people, when we go through this, did you know when you were narcissist abuse that was spiritual warfare?
No, I think a lot of people don't know because you obviously blindsided by the person, because the person that's supposed to love you ends up hurting you. So you're not thinking a narcissist. A lot of us didn't even know what narcissist was till you start investigating. Or a video came across and you're like, wait, hold on, this sounds familiar. So I didn't know.
Yeah, like how many of us know this? Let me unmute this. Okay. Yeah, how many of us know this? So we're gonna go to some parts in the second video. Let me see. Also, I wanted to hit on this, like seeing the woman's bodies. I want to touch on this real quick. Can you imagine, like Solomon said, that like you'll never be enough for a narcissist. So they'll build you up to tear you down. And so it keeps you in this cycle of, the idealization, and then they start to devalue you and then start to triangulate you with other women. So she's going through his phone. She knew something was wrong. All right. And then she starts to see videos of them having, intercourse and things. And didn't even say anything. I mean, I just can't imagine that mindset, but we can't allow other people to make us feel low. All right. And then if you do have self-esteem, you have to deal with that. Okay, we have to, but we'll talk about that more at the end. But I just can imagine seeing that multiple times. And then, like Solomon said, she's like being other women, just like the song. She's being other women. She can't even be herself because she's too busy trying to be this ideal, this person that she will never live up to be, because God didn't create her to be like those women. He created her in his image to be like him. So yes, yeah, that's tough, right? Let's go to the second video. Okay, so this is some parts from part 2.
You found that Derek was having inappropriate conversations with people from his past that he had a sexual relationship with, and then later on you began to find out that it wasn't just conversations, it had moved to actual sexual acts.
Yes. And again, I didn't find that out until 2019. So we got married January 2018. I found out in November of 2019 that there was a lot of conversations that had turned into physical interactions from that point. So in that time span, I had actually began working on myself. I had 500 followers at the time.
Oh, look at just 500 followers.
500. I was doing big things.
Like you're doing something. You like, I
all
got
kinds
500.
of big things. I was known. People knew who I was.
She is hilarious, first of all. She really is. All right. She really is funny. So it's amazing that she was kept in like the shadows, you know. Let me put this bigger. Yeah, so she was kept in the shadows and she was basically building him up. You don't build a man. She was basically building him up. All right. Together, when you're in a kingdom marriage, you'll come together and you'll build one another up. But she was like playing behind the scenes, which is some people just don't want to be in front of the camera. All right. But she was taking care of his stuff and, you know, booking his appointments and all kind of stuff. And all the while, you know, he had multiple phones and this house and all this stuff. All right. And just, you know, misusing her. Anything you want to say on that clip?
Yeah, I mean, even the way I look at it, even though she went through all that, it's a lot of our situations. This actually remind me of the ex, what she's saying, how she found out about the stuff later on after they was married. So go check out my story on my YouTube on Faith-Based Workplace. It's under my playlist, My Stories. But the point is, even though you know, you building this person up and stuff, you can see how God was still preparing her to leave. So all the stuff she was doing for him, guess what? Now everything she's been through is going to take that. It's going to elevate her to be able to be, you know, a better woman. And then it goes into, I don't know, I'm getting ahead, but it goes into what I always talk about. Shannon, I always talk about this too, about love after narcissist abuse. Now, I know right now she probably don't want to date and, you know, still trying to get a divorce and stuff. But at some point or some time, that's going to be another example that you're going to see that somebody that went through narcissist abuse going to come out, going to find a man that's really going to love her for who she is. She ain't going to have to be all these other women. She ain't going to have to, you know, do all this other stuff. So she's got to be herself. Because to me, with any kind of business or even in marriage, you should only be in competition with yourself. But she's competing with, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 women. And it shouldn't be that way. The same thing with the brother. You competing with, you know, you married to a woman, you got to sit there and compete. Nah, bro. So, that's the way I look at it. So I believe that at some point or some time, God is going to use this story and this part of her life to actually, you know, books and, you know, other interviews and all kind of stuff. So, and I'm not even talking about money. I'm just saying the exposure. Remember, we always talk about exposing the narcissist. And some of us only can get so big. We still growing and doing things, but things like this go put it on a whole nother level where people going to be talking about it. So.
Yes. And the enemy tried to embarrass her on a public level. He tried to embarrass her on a public level, and God is going to turn that all around. He's turning it all around for her favor. That's good.
Again, I had to unpack all of those things just to get to a point to be in a sound mind.
So when you left, what did you say when you left?
I didn't say anything.
He just came home one day, he was gone.
Well, he was at the condo. He decided he was going to go to the condo because we had a big falling out.
So it's a condo in the same city?
Yeah, it's in Atlanta. It was in downtown, midtown.
So you had a condo in a house?
we had a 9,000 square foot mansion in the same neighborhood that the Migos, one of the Migos people, I don't even know their names, but one of them lived like not far.
So why do you think you need a condo for?
He needed a condo so he could record. I was told the condo was supposed to be for business, for recording, to get this look, for the webinars and all that. That was what that was for. But little did I know, we was out here living our best lives, whole full-blown relationships.
Duh.
Okay, so
I would want to say duh on that. Duh.
Man.
Let me hit the rewind. Okay, let's go back to, I don't know if y'all remember from clip 1 or episode 1, whatever you want to call it, part 1. She said they stayed in a 9,000 square foot home. Let's think about this, 9,000 square foot home. What you need a condo for to have a recording studio? I mean, 9,000 square feet. I'm in real estate, so if I'm guessing, I'm thinking that's at least a 5 to 6 bedroom, probably 6 to 7 bathrooms. You probably got a game room, living room, media room, and somewhere in there, I promise you got a room that you can make a recording studio, soundproof it with that kind of money they bring it in, and not have a condo. So if you think about it, the condo was more for him to be able to bring women to and be able to cheat and do whatever he wanted to do. And she was just in the dark, stuck in a 9,000 square foot home, thinking she living her best life. But really, she living her worst life because her husband is out there bringing women to the condo and sleeping with them. And, you know, STDs, all kind of stuff play a part in that, or getting women pregnant, and the infidelity, the adultery, all that stuff comes into play. So it's like, wow, 9,000 square foot. You couldn't, I guarantee if I got a 9,000 square foot, I'm not going to rent a studio. Rent a studio for what? Even if I had people coming to the house, I would have a private access with that kind of money. So when you come into that one room, we go record, and then, hey, you can go on back to your car. But yeah, so he had that condo for other things, other motives.
That is, man, that's some good points. Like, what do you need that amount of space for? I mean, okay, to each his own, you know, but that does not, and I know he said duh, but when you're blinded, these are the things that I think she just made it okay in her mind, you know, because you fall in love with the lie. Because again, if she told herself the truth, if she came into the truth, that would shatter her world. So a lot of times when we're in this situation, we tell ourselves the lie. We continue to feed ourselves the lie so that we don't mess up our fantasy. And from a woman's point of view, we don't want to mess up our home. We don't want to break up the family. You know, we want our kids in a 2-parent home because she didn't have one. We want our kids in a 2-parent home. You know, all the things, God hates divorce, all the things that we tell ourselves to keep ourselves in bondage with a demon carrier. So he put her up. He put her up to shut her up. Yeah.
Gave her the okie doke.
He did. He really did. Let's see. And then she tried to get away. Let me see if I have this clip. If not, we'll just discuss it. I don't know if I have it marked.
Talk. He's out standing outside. I'm outside. I'm like, outside where? And it's snowing, and he's like, I'm outside, let's talk. And I'm like, she doesn't even live there anymore. And I'm like, I don't think I should be coming out right now. Like, I just got off the road. We just got off the road, and my mom is in the background, like, you just got off the road. You are not going anywhere. And then she's on the phone with someone and shit. They're like, you get off that phone. He can wait. Right. And which then brought in a whole nother dynamic, because it's like, your mom is controlling your behavior and your actions, and she's keeping you away and telling you what to say and what to do. So then that became a whole nother dynamic, and I'm just like,
go first with that.
All it is a reverse manipulation. That's all he doing in that situation. Yeah. So even though her mom is really trying to protect her and help her, he's trying to make it seem like he the protector and the provider of the home, but really it's reverse manipulation or reverse psychology, or whatever word you want to use. That's what he's doing. So he's trying to use her mama and turn her mama against her. See, that's what narcissists do. It's a mind game. So if it looked like the mama is getting in between our relationship, our marriage, which I don't consider that a marriage they had, but it makes her think that, okay, you know what, maybe you're right. Maybe I am listening to my mama. So you start going back and forth, and I guarantee she ends up going back to him because she thinking that, hey, you know what, my mama probably is being too controlling. No, your mama there, she's helping you. The man you married to is the one that's controlling and manipulating. It's like the puppet master. He got all the strings and playing you and your mama against each other. He playing you against the other women. You didn't call him with him till how many women? So
she said over 100.
Oh my God. So he controlling everything. Basically, if he was a card dealer and you had I never played cards, so they had a crap table in the casino, but he has all the cards. He's the dealer, so he's giving you what he wants. He already know you getting you know what I'm saying, whether you getting a queen or a joker. This joker handing out jokers. He giving you the joker. You know, shame on you. You getting a joker. You getting a joker. And then because she got the ring, the rewind on that, she thinks she got the queen. Nah, you a joker too. You got the joker. You ain't get the queen either. That was a good analogy.
Man. That is good. That is good. And then and I know we're skipping around a little bit, so that some of these parts might not be succinct, right? But then after she found out he was cheating, he dragged her out on. That's how we came to know her. All right, they were, I think, getting ready to separate or something like that. But then the story, somebody on Tasha K's channel, for those of you who know who that is, a news gossip channel or something like that, right? They one of the women came forward and broke the story, and that's when we came to know, because all these women started coming forward and say, I slept with Derek, and they started, look, they showed the house, they showed the condo, or the condo, they came with receipts, right? And so then he parades after it all comes out, then he parades his wife and he brings her out and he made a video first, and that one didn't go the way that he planned it to go. People were going in on him. So he said, let me try another narc tactic, and let me have my wife come out. Let me have my wife come out and present a united front and tell the world, you know, hold hands. They had the PR rep and everything, hold hands. And we're going to make it seem like, you know, I'm standing by my man. No, you're not going to parade me out publicly when I've been private. When she wanted to be, things wanted to be known. She wanted him to tell people that he was married. Now he had put her in the book and different things, but he still had her hidden a lot, right? So he was living a double life. So now he wanted to have her private, but now when he gets caught cheating, he then wants to bring her out publicly, you know. So that's wrong, okay? But those are the things that narcissists do. And he tried to hoover her back in. She said, okay, I had enough. All right. And I think, I don't know if I have that. I don't think I have that part. Mark, did you see the part where she was saying that a demon had came in to her child's bedroom? So then she started to go through spiritual warfare. And I don't know if that's in here. We might be jumping around a little bit, but she started to go through spiritual warfare with her in her house. And I'm going to talk about that in a future message. She started to experience the demons in her household. Okay. And he didn't even want to be in the house at this point. He told her, you know, if you come to the condo, that I'm going to call the police on you and all this stuff. So she ended up leaving and all of this, and he tried to hoover her back. So that's what narcissists do. When you make up in your mind that you've had enough, then they call your mother, your father, they call everybody in your sphere of influence to try to get them on their side. Now you have these people calling you saying, well, why don't you go back? You know, she you know, that's your wife, you know, that's your husband. All right. So you got to be careful about who's in your circle, because they'll go to your circle when they can't reach you. Okay. And then she talked about the pictures in the phone. When you're with a sociopath, the pictures are like trophies to them. The pictures, the video, why would you risk that as a married man? Say you cheat. All right. Wrong. It's adultery. Say you do that. But why would you keep pictures in your phone? Why would you keep that? And you know you're married. He didn't care about this woman. And when somebody does that, they do not care about you. Do you understand? Now, people can make mistakes, but this wasn't a mistake. This was a pattern of manipulative and exploitative behavior. Like Solomon said, he could have brought her back an incurable disease. You can't get rid of HIV. You understand me? And it's other things that you can't get rid of, all right? But when you're with a sociopath or psychopath, they love collectibles. They love pictures. They love hoarding their victims' belongings. They love when somebody asks you for nudes, don't think that your nudes are the only ones in their phone. When somebody asks you for your underwear, they'll ask for your underwear. They'll ask for your unmentionables. All right. So when especially you're in a long distance relationship, so you think that, oh, we're away, so he's thinking about me, let me send him something with my scent on him. No, he's just added your scent to his collection like a dog. He's just added your scent in the realm of the spirit so those demons can track you in the realm of the spirit. You got to start thinking about what this thing really is, okay? This was not love, okay? That's the things that sociopaths and psychopaths do. They collect those things on people, okay? So let's go to the next. Let's see what we're talking about next. I know we're skipping around here. All right. Let me go back.
I'm over here trying to model what these other women are doing so that I can give my man the best sex so he can choose me and leave them alone. No one knows the inner struggle that you're going through. No one knew the abuse that you had come through. Haven't overcome it yet, but you have come through it. No one knew that here is this woman who never wanted to be in this spotlight is now sitting right here in front of the world being picked apart. Right. And that's the reason, Danae, I said I want to make sure that I had a makeup artist come make you look absolutely beautiful and like you needed it. But I said I want to make sure that they didn't have nothing to pick you apart from.
I appreciate that. I appreciate all the care and the just basic human dignity and respect that you've shown me, which apparently is hard to get just being me for whatever reason that is. And so, you know, all of the public scrutiny that I endured in that time, I'm like, it's almost like a headspin. It's like, what is going on? I don't even know how to respond or react. All I know is that my mental and emotional state is right now in danger. And if that goes, then everybody's going to die, literally, physically. Had I not had the helmet of salvation, or at least had knew that scripture, I really would have committed suicide. And I'm that's the state that I was at in that moment. And I'm pregnant with a child, right? And that embellishes all the emotions that you already have just outside
gone through
of that.
Postpartum depression twice with the other kids, and here you are right now dealing with all this.
Severe postpartum depression. I'm pregnant again. Just found out I was pregnant again, and I'm like, Lord, I mean, when am I going to get a break? And you know what? The only thing that came to me in that moment was Job, when he was getting attacked, you know, his finances, his marriage, and all that. And that's where the whole helmet of salvation thing came from. It's like, I'm recognizing this as a spiritual attack. I understand clearly we have some real serious things that are going on, but everything right now, my mental health, my health is being attacked. My child, the seed in me is being attacked. If I don't pull through this, not only am I going to die, my child is going to die.
Yes.
My God. My God. Go ahead, Solomon.
That just goes back. If you look at, put that picture back up there with him and her with the bonnet on. And I know a lot of people came against her because I guess, you know, wow, I guess people just didn't understand what was going on. You just see her and you like, why he got it. But you look at it, see how he dressed up. He looking his best self. He got his, I don't know, cashmere sweater on, but he got her over there looking like a bum. And she's not a bum, but he had her looking like that. That's because I guarantee after that video was aired, I guarantee he went back to the women like, yeah, see, look, I don't love her. Look how she dressed and stuff on camera. Yeah. But he had her dressed like that. He did that on purpose to put her out on Front Street. And if that's your wife and you love her, you're not going to have her out there on Front Street. I would never, me and Shannon was somebody's earlier. I could be on live, and if Shannon walking in with a bonnet on trying to get on my live, I shut the doggone laptop down. I close it down. They be like, man, the live ended. Sure did, it ended. It ended. But she would never come in there like that. But I'm just saying, so for him to sit there and actually have his wife lie to everybody, everybody, all of us, about their relationship, it should have been a red flag for everybody. Should have known like something off. You know, I don't know her, don't know him, but something off. Because look how he dressed and look how she dressed. But they are a married couple. I just, just don't. Something should have triggered us then and be like, nah, something off. And some people caught it, some people didn't. And then now you see why all this playing out the way it is. Now you see why he had a dress like that. Now you see why, all this stuff is going on, why they're going through a divorce. And we're not an advocate for divorce, but man, if you with a narcissist, you gotta do what you gotta do. Especially one like this. And this the same guy, me and Shannon and I talked about this earlier before we went live. This the same guy, I guarantee you, if this don't play out for him, Shannon was talking about this earlier. I guarantee you, just mark my words, I want y'all to remember this. This goofball probably gonna come out as a self-aware narcissist at some point and then do videos and his channel gonna blow up like other self-aware narcissists that we have seen. Just mark my word, because everybody call him a narcissist. He fit all the criteria. So if this don't play out and he end up on the other side, he gonna start, you know what, I can just say I'm a self-aware narcissist, and then boom, his channel have, I mean, this dude got 382,000 subscribers. I guarantee his channel gonna take off and have more than that guy. It will. As soon as he said it, then most of the women, people that's gonna watch this video, go over there and fly. Oh, I want to hear what the narcissist is saying. Why? That's like in the NFL or NBA or whatever. That's like going to a losing team thinking you about to win. Yeah, you hope you will win, but they've been losing for the last 40 years, Cleveland Browns. I ain't gonna throw you out there, but if you've been losing for that long, why I'm going to your team? I'm trying to go to where winners at. So nah, but y'all going over there want to listen to the self-aware narcissist, thinking he go tell you something. All he gonna do is tell you everything that happened with him and Miss how you say that? Danae. He gonna tell you what happened with him and Miss Danae and the 100 women he cheated with and how he manipulated them. You think you learning something? No, it's just past stories that he's telling you about what happened in his past marriage and other relationships. He probably got failed mommy issues and stuff too. So you just listening to that thinking you're learning something. No, you just part of the supply. So you part of the 380 or the 500,000 subscribers that's gonna be on this new YouTube channel saying he a self-aware narcissist. Just go ahead and wait for it. Y'all be like, yeah, I remember y'all said that.
Because she's gonna continue to rise, and then he's gonna have to change his.
He got to do something different.
Change his tactics, right? And the women, I'm like, who are? And I think she said he has 4 million people across his platform. Who is watching Derrick Jackson and this? Like who? It's y'all, ain't it? Some of y'all. Who is watching Derrick Jackson after he's done this? Like, why can't you see? Like, we are supposed to be girls. You understand me? You don't do that. You don't relish in another woman's pain. Why would you go support somebody who's shown you, especially as a believer? Why would you go and support somebody who has shown you that this is who they are, that this is how they treated their wife? I don't care if it's a man or a woman. Women can do that too, okay? But why would you support somebody like that with your likes, with your views? Wow, and people will go follow him even more now, you know. But I'm glad that God is building up his channel. But you're right, that's probably exactly what he's done. And then you see all of his videos when this is not about him. But since you hit on that, they use these platforms as narcissistic supply. It's like we forget who they are because they didn't abuse us. He uses women to cover and conceal who he really was. And then he wrote a book called A Cheating Man's Heart, as if he was recovered. That is a slap in the face to her. That is a slap in the face to his other victims who did not know. I don't know. People knew he was married. A lot of people didn't know he was married. And I guarantee you, like, she was in the background taking pictures and, being his right hand. I guarantee you that some of the women that she was taking pictures of were some of the women that he slept with, that he was, probably had his arm a little too tight, they taking pictures, just doing little subliminal stuff. And that's what he's projecting. He was projecting when he wrote that book, A Cheating Man's Heart. And he made posts about how to get a man back after he's done you dirty. He's talking about himself. He does a lot of projection, this man. All right. Let's see. Before we go, let's show a few more clips. I'm just gonna go. Let's see. Let me go here. Which one do we have? We'll go with that one.
Get ahead of this. We don't have a PR person. Like we have to do something. So I'm like, okay, help me get through it. He made a video before me and him got on there, and I think he took that down because people were coming after him. But I was like, I had walked into the office while he was recording that, and basically it was like, okay, redo, but with us together, and so there wasn't a whole lot of prep into that. But after the fact, I was like, okay, let's prep. He bought this little media kit person, or I don't even know what you call it, but it's a person that helps you,
content creator,
prepare for these types of things. And it's like coaching, like you got to sit up and you got to like, you got to lean forward and, like smile. You don't want to wear white on the camera. I'm like, y'all know this is my first time sitting in front of anybody's camera. Like I haven't even spoken on camera.
You tell me y'all had a media training person there when y'all recorded that video?
No, not there. After that, he started investing in some of those things, and he started showing me videos of like Kobe Bryant and Vanessa when he was going through his little thing and how she was like rubbing his hand and consoling him. And he was like, yeah, you gotta
rub my hand.
You gotta, like, you see how she is, you gotta. And I'm like, okay, but I'm not an actor. I can't do that. And so that just caused a little bit of.
Wow. Go ahead, Solomon.
If you look at that whole relationship, he got her acting like somebody else. So first she want to be these other women bodies, and she watching sex videos of them. Now he wanted to be Kobe Bryant's wife now on video. Like, when is it gonna stop? So he keep having her be somebody else. It's like it's the cycle over and over again. So now we done went through this whole abuse and went through all this. So now I want you to be Kobe Bryant's wife. What's next then? What I'm be now? What's she gonna be next? Beyonce next? I mean, what is when Jay-Z whole thing happened? The girl Becky with the black hair or whatever. So now you're gonna be Beyonce next. I mean, when is it gonna stop? I mean, so it never was gonna stop. She's always gonna be another woman. She was never gonna be who she is, Miss Jackson. She gonna be Beyonce. She gonna be Kobe Bryant's wife and other 100 women, and the cycle keep going. So yeah, this dude right here is like an evil, manipulative, just evil liar, pathological liar. Just all the words you can think of. It's all rolled up in one. And then I'll tell you this: even with all this going out, I ain't allegedly, that dude is what he is. That ain't allegedly. It's the facts. It's right there in front of us. So. Even through all that, I guarantee some goofball woman go end up marrying this goofball, and then guess what? We're gonna have Danae Jackson part 2 because this goofball gonna marry him 3-4 years down the line and thinking he changed. Who said that? Who said he changed? Because he went to counseling a couple of times and he posting different video. He's a caring man all of a sudden. Yeah, okay. Y'all sit there and wait for it. So Mark, let me hit the rewind one more time so y'all know. Hold on. So remember, you heard it right here on narcfreeliving that I said 2 things that I want you to remember. 1, this goofball will come out as a self-aware narcissist at some point, I believe. If this don't work out, this is all on if. If this don't work out for him, he'll come out as a self-aware narc. 2, this goofball will get married to one of these women that's following him, and it's going to be some made-up trophy wife. You know what I'm saying? It probably look like a Kobe Bryant wife. I'm using her because that's what they just said. And that's what he gonna end up getting. And then she gonna be supportive, and then she gonna be on video saying, "Oh no, he's changed. I don't know what Dana was talking about. He never was like." Yeah. Girl, we said it on the video. What you talking about? What you trying to gaslight millions of people now? So yeah, so you gotta be ready for the okie doke, or I call it a banana in the tailpipe when this happens. And then when it happens, you can come back and be like, "Yeah, Solomon had said that."
Yeah, and you brought up something so profound. That you're right. He's had her be these other women. And where did that start from?
What you mean?
In her childhood.
Oh, yeah.
It started in her childhood with her dad. Her dad, she felt a spirit of rejection and abandonment with her dad, and it wasn't healed. So that's all she did was put on different masks and different faces. And the man in her life who was supposed to cover her and protect her and provide for her and be her priest and all of that, end up being the same man that her father in her head, had been, what he had done to her. We have to heal these childhood wounds. We'll do a couple of more and then we'll begin to wrap it up. This is good. Y'all okay? Put it in the comments. Thank you, Solomon, for being here. We got to do this more often. Yeah, let me go.
I like being on narcfreeliving.
Yes, we got to start doing this more often.
Yes.
Continually vagabonds and beg. Let them see. He said, that's what I said.
That's what I said. And everybody's like, she's cursing people. I'm like, did you read your Bible?
Danae,
you mad because I know how to pray and you don't? Like, that is not a me problem. That's a you problem at this point.
Why you gonna curse their kids? Why you gonna say their kids gonna be vagabonds? Why you gonna do that? He said, let their children be continually vagabonds and beg. Let them seek their bread also out of their desolate places. Let the extortioner catch all that he hath, and let the stranger spoil his labor. Let there be none to extend mercy unto him, neither let there be any to favor his fatherless children. Let his posterity be cut off.
I'm quoting the word of God. We mad because I'm quoting the word of God. Seriously, that's what I want to know. Why everybody so upset because I quoted the word of God?
So you sat there and read this. Did you read this to the people, or you wrote it?
I didn't read the whole thing. I read those the
About the
vagabond,
kids.
the
You want
father,
their kids to
let
be
them be fatherless, because you know why? Because I knew that would get a rise out of a lot of people, and they don't read their Bible, so they don't know where it's at. But this is the word of God. When you come against God's people, He gives us words. He literally, like, we don't have to think of these prayers. They're already there in all the Psalms for every situation that we go through. When we're depressed, when we have anxiety, when we're broke, when He gives us words to say. And these are not necessarily literal words, right? So if we want to get into the theology, since I am whole master of Christian ministry at Oral Roberts University.
For real?
Yes.
You know, when it got a master's in divinity?
4.0.
A little
Master
nerdy stuff. A little
Christian
nerdy
ministry.
stuff. Oh Lord, I don't want that smoke with you then.
So if we want to get into the actual, okay, like let's get into what I said in Psalm 1.
Okay, so they're talking about when people said she came on and released curses. Now I see in context why she did that, but on the other side, it was already a curse union, so you can't try to release a curse or pray scriptures against somebody when you're already in the wrong. You're already cursed. So we do have to be careful, because a curse cannot land without a cause. But I understand why she prayed the psalm. David prayed the psalms. All right. Many of us have prayed the psalms against our enemy. All right. And you know, you do have to be careful about touching God's anointed, but she was in a cursed situation. So we have to be careful when we try to apply godly principles to a demonic covenant. Okay. So I understand in theory what she was doing. Was it the right thing? I'm not sure. But yeah, I get what she was doing. She was upset that people were coming against her marriage, not understanding that she was married to the weapon that was causing her marriage not to prosper. So anything on that? Okay. Yeah. So let's see. We're about to wrap up. Let's show one more.
Not think about, or not to re-bring it up, you know, unless it's relevant to like this phase of the healing that I'm going through, because we're dealing with it through therapy or whatever, but not just to be like randomly, yeah, I remember 99, you know, like I you know, so it's a process and it's a shock, right? And again, there's a crushing that goes on with that, but I made a choice, like, okay, I'm deciding to be here. I'm deciding to go through this process. I'm going to try this. And again, I'm dealing with this pregnant, guys. I'm whole pregnant. Right. So did I do that successfully? No, I got whole pregnancy hormones. I'm mad. There's days I'm just mad.
Yep.
I'm just like, get out, like, get out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to see you right now. Don't touch me. Don't like look at me right now. Like, I'm just upset that you even allowed it to get to this point. Like, why were you so careless? Like, did you not think about this?
Yep.
Why didn't you get a gag order on these?
Yeah.
You know, like
you over here trying to protect the bag.
Right.
You like, you should have did this. You should have.
Right.
Yeah, so this is at a time when she's a little bit more vocal. All right, let's see. Let me see if she talks about this here.
And then I was just like, okay. And I walked away. And then let
me rewind that.
Right. So I have to communicate to you, like, this is what's going on with me. And I'm like, I need help. I need deliverance. I'm speaking to such and such. You see me speaking to such and such. Like, I'm trying to figure this thing out, because this is important to me. Like, I want to figure this out. And he's like, I want you to be completely whole. I don't want to do anything for 2 months. And then I was just like, okay. And I walked away. And then the next day, 2 days after that, then he sent me the text message. It said, I'm done with us in the marriage. And so it's just like, okay. And then the next day after that, he said, he came to me in person and it was like, do you have any questions about my text message? And I was like, no.
What you respond? You just responded, okay?
Yeah. I said, okay, if that's what you want. And then the next day he made a video. He's wearing all brown. And it's like, if somebody says, okay, if that's what you want, it's manipulative. And I was like, oh, and then I commented on it. I was like, facts. I got blocked, I think. So
You see, think you got blocked.
Yeah.
Okay, we got to talk about that, and then I want to show one clip of her, coming out of this. Go ahead. Speak.
I ain't got nothing on that.
On how he said he wanted to divorce her.
I mean, text message. That's
That's
something a narcissist would do. So I mean, it's not one of the things you can say that's unexpected. They expected to do stupid stuff like that, or tell somebody else, "Hey, I want you to go tell I'm divorced." I mean, so that doesn't surprise or shock me. I know it might shock some of y'all, but hey, divorce you through a text. We heard of this before, people doing this. So he never did love this woman. I talked about this before. You go watch my video last week when I was talking about love. He never loved her. So therefore, that's why he's able to manipulate her and control her in such a way and be with all these other women, because there was no love there. He might say, "I love you" 30 times a day, but those words had no actions behind it. So you got to listen to me. I know y'all, like Shannon was saying, the women and some of the men, let's be honest, want to have a marriage and have a white picket fence, whatever they want to say, society, whatever. But when you look at it, just because you married don't control or don't change, I should say, that person. Like I said, that marriage certificate doesn't change the cheating and the manipulating and the narcissistic tendencies that we see. That's just saying you married to a demonic, evil person right now. That's what that's saying. So you got his last name and you dealing with a demon. So yeah, she I'm just happy to see her. Like, you can see a glow about her now compared to that picture. It's like looking at two different women. You look at her then and then look at her now. It's just two different people. So, but she has a glow about her. You can tell, God is really doing some stuff on her. And it goes back to people always talking about healing. Your healing journey is work. This is when the real work begins right here. For her to sit down on that couch and talk to this man. And at the beginning, he asked her, and she said, a lot of people have been trying to get her to go on. And she had been saying no. He said, but something about him, she talked to God about it and said, okay, it was an immediate yes. As soon as he called and asked her to come on the show, she said it was an immediate yes. See, when God involved, it's like immediate yes. That's it. That's in your kingdom marriages. That's when you're doing business. So if you're trying to do business with somebody, there's always something going on. They can't meet you. They can't be on the Zoom. Or we can use this for dating. And, they got a show called Catfish and all this stuff. When there's always something off, they don't want to get on camera, or they don't want to put the money down for the house, or they don't want to meet your family. Okay, that should be red flags to where you just say, you know what? Nah. And I know you don't want to do that, but I don't care what time and money you invested up to that point. If you don't want to lose more money or lose more time, or in some cases lose your life, you might want to go ahead and just go ahead and just chalk it up. Hey, I wasted $500 and 30 hours of my time, but you ain't gonna lose no more money. But I think a lot of times in these situations, we get so invested in it and we want it so bad. Yeah. But to think about it, you got to realize, do you want that, or is it God want that? Because I don't think God wanted that. That's what you wanted. So that's a you thing. So it goes back to, that's a you problem. And then the first thing we do, we want to go to God and blame God. God didn't tell you to get married to that jolly joker over there. So that's not a God problem. That's a you problem. Now, God can fix any situation. So you see what he's doing with her. She got to divorce him. And then, like Shannon said, he put on a public platform to humiliate her. Now God got on a public platform to sit there and reinvent her and give her things. I'm pretty sure business ideas flowing, books, all this stuff coming along. And she's going to, be able to tell a story, probably conferences around the country and around the world. And people going to be able to relate to it. Because guess what? She's not the only woman that's going to. They got somebody right now that's going to watch this video and realize, or go watch his video and realize, wow, that's what I'm going through. It might not, their name might not be Derek Jackson. It might be doggone, whatever their name is, but the criteria fits. And it might be the woman. Maybe it's the woman that's the Jezebel in this situation, but it doesn't matter. It's going to be, okay, all this fits in that scenario. So
yes, that's so good. He never loved her. Didn't he sum that up good? He never loved her. He never loved her. Absolutely not. Let's see if we can go to where they're kind of wrapping up. You hit that on the head.
Who conferred with him about whether or not to come on the podcast?
I did.
Okay.
I was like, can you see this first?
Okay, let's go a little bit further.
A little weird, but
Your jokes be funny. I was dying laughing at you. It was funny. One thing that I always know when somebody's healed is when they can laugh.
Yes.
Healing shows up in laughter so much. When you think about some of the most painful things you've been through, and you be like, "Yeah, and I did this." It's like, okay, because before, like you said, about 3-4 years ago, You've been out of here.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even want to have a conversation. You would probably tear up this whole studio.
What
you know
conversation?
What I'm saying?
Listen, I have busted some windows and slashed some tires. That's okay. That's where I would be.
All day.
Yes.
All day. And that's what I'm talking about. And so what I heard on the other side of that phone was a healed woman that I knew that God has anointed for such a time as this.
Yes.
And so I want you to continue to be encouraged in what you're doing.
Thank you.
God is going to blow your mind. You're going to look back at these last couple of years. You're going to be like, oh, God gave me double and triple for my trouble.
I receive all of that right now.
Watch what happens. Watch what I'm telling you. As sure as I am black, I know this is a fact.
I know it is true because you are black.
Yeah, I'm black. I'm blackly black. I'm black. But no, listen. How can they connect with you?
Danae Jackson on Instagram, Danae Jackson on TikTok, Danae Jackson 3 on YouTube.
Well, Danae Jackson ain't like it's spelled the regular way on no Instagram.
Well, no, it's phonetically spelled because, everybody doesn't know how to say my name. So I had to go old school.
I'll put a link. I'll put a link in the description.
Yes, is DUH_NAY_UH_Jackson regular for my Instagram. And that's the same for my TikTok as well. And my actual name, Danae Jackson, regular spelled, is on YouTube. So.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's so awesome. Just and I'm not saying she's completely healed. Who of us is completely healed? Because sometimes people will say, well, you shouldn't be talking. People always want to tell you when you should be talking. God will tell you when you should be talking. So I'm so proud to see where she is going and where God is taking her. So I guess as we close out, we were talking about before and after, and Solomon just hit on this. So this is her like during, and on here she was pregnant, right? This is her before, or before she probably had the realization of what she was married to, and then this is her after. Look at that glow up. Look at you see the glow up. So you see what God will do for you. And like Mr. Whitfield and Solomon has said, watch how God is going to use this to really bless her. So when you're dating and going into different relationships, you got to pay attention to your unhealed trauma. Okay, whatever it is, you have to face it. And I always say, when a teacher is ready, the master will appear. So when you are ready to finally face whatever it was, whatever voids you have, because God has to come in there and heal those voids. Okay. And what the enemy meant for evil, God turns it all around for our good. The enemy meant to destroy her. The enemy meant to destroy Solomon. The enemy meant to destroy me. All right. And in all actuality, we are each stronger than the person who was trying to abuse us. She's actually stronger in the spirit realm than Derek Jackson ever will be. Now, he has his, like Solomon said, he has his own set of traumas, something that happened to him that he has chosen not to deal with. And he's taken on these demons. He's come into agreement with them. But if you come out of agreement with that, with whatever your situation is, you come out of agreement with the lies, God will lead you into truth. Okay. So we'll be talking, I guess me and Solomon have another part of this, because I wanted to talk about dating and workplace and family or any relationship. And I guess I'll ask Solomon just anything, from this list or anything that you want to hit on in closing, like the before, during, and after, and the healing part of narcissist abuse, like anything on that.
I mean, it's a process with any relationship, whether it's personal or professional. Mm-hmm. And you have to, I always say this on my channel, you have to recognize the red flags, but it's a process to that too. Once you recognize them, you got to call them out. See, it's one thing to recognize them. We all see them, but if you don't act on them or call them out, then okay, what you doing?
Yeah, and that's what she was
saying.
Doing.
So yeah, she's seen the red flags, seen all the videos, seen the women cheating, seen the probably text messages, all that stuff. Okay, now what you gonna do with that? But she wasn't doing nothing with it. She just was like, so now she at a point, now she can sit there. I guarantee moving forward, she'll never go through this again. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it's just a process with any relationship, professional. A lot of people, I'm against it, but a lot of people like to do business with family. I'm against that because guess what? Family be your biggest hater sometimes. They don't want to see you succeed. I know you think, that's my family, they love me. Now, I'm not saying all families. Let me go ahead and put that disclaimer. I'm not saying all families, but a lot of families, notice what I just said, not all families, but a lot of families don't want to see you succeed. That's why you do business with her and the business fall through. You know what I'm saying? That's a professional relationship, but it's the same with a personal relationship or supposed to be a loving relationship. So you doing, sleeping with the enemy type stuff, or nah, it's just, yeah, it's a process. So when you see those red flags and like she mentioned, the wrap this up, the cheating and all the stuff that was going on before, trust me, I know I was there. The cheating going on before the relationship, and you just still, it's a soul tie. Because you already didn't have sex with that woman, already didn't, sex with that man or whatever. So you got a soul tie. So you thinking they go change it. You think you can change them even as a man. And guess what? The lie detector determined that was a lie. That didn't work either. That just got worse. And guess what? You end up divorced. You end up hurt. And you like, wow. Then you look back. Like I always say, you get back to that root cause analysis of everything. You figure out, oh, that's where the relationship went left right there. I should have ended it right there. Go ahead, put it in the chat. Y'all know y'all like, man, I should have ended it right there.
Yeah.
But we didn't. We oh no, we can a little bit more. They go change. I'm praying, you praying to God, and God hear your prayers. He hear all our prayers. He never told you to stay there. He probably told you to leave, but y'all ignoring that though. And we do that. I think we do that as a people. You ignore what God really telling you and come out on a public platform. Not her. I'm talking about on a public platform and tell people, oh no, yeah, God did he tell you that though? Is that really what he told you? Because you're in an abusive relationship, so he told you to stay. He told you to work it out. He told us, oh, okay. It's been 9 years off and on, so that's what he had told. Okay. I don't think he told you that you at the police station and the hospital lying, talking about you fell down the stairs or slammed your face on the door. I don't know about you, but I don't see too many adults slamming their faces in doors, but that's what we tell the people. Yeah. The lie and protect this person. So yeah, so just understand that when these situations happen, if a man put his hands on you or a woman put their hands on you, if they cheat on you and they tell you I love you right after they hit you, the lie detector all said that is a lie. So don't believe that they love you just because they just hit you and they say, oh no, baby, you know I am when I drink. Fool, nah. Okay, so you tell them every time you drink, you go hit me. Well, you know how I am when I got a bad day at work. You could have 3 bad days at work in 1 week, so you go come home and beat on me? Nah, miss me with that. But that's like some of the stuff they'll tell you. So don't fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, that's so good. So good. So thank you, Solomon, for that. So after abuse, if you do your inner healing work and submit to Jehovah Rapha, he will heal your heart. Submit that to God and he'll heal you. We are examples of that, of what healing and work, right? Love after narcissist abuse. Where's my favorite one?
Oh. Where is it?
Okay, you'll find it. Yeah. Yes.
That's what you be doing when I hit this.
It is. Every time when I put that dance thing, I'll really be dancing. I'll be jamming. Okay. So in summary, the first part of your spiritual awakening is realizing there is a problem. When she starts seeing, and I believe she saw demons in him. That's part of what kept her quiet. Because at one point she told him that he needed deliverance. At one point she told him that he had demons inside of him. And then see, when we have that awakening, we're like, oh yeah, let's just go get deliverance. And that narcissist is looking at you like, I don't want to get rid of my demons. I love my demons. My demons, give me whatever I want. So I believe because you could tell he manifested. And I don't know what she saw, but whatever it was, it scared her. And then whatever she saw in that house with her daughter, all right, in her house, because you'll start seeing demons in your house. That's probably why his butt didn't want to stay there. He didn't put the demons in the mansion, and then he gone over to the condo. That's part of why. All right. But you'll see these things start manifesting when you have your spiritual awakening. But you got to understand, a lot of us will try to change the narcissist. That narcissist typically does not want to be changed. Okay. They have to have a rock bottom experience where they are willing to let go of those demons. They have to get to the end of themselves. And a narcissist typically does not get to the end of themselves because they have a Danae. All right. Because they have a Leslie. All right. Because they have a Brenda. They have a Bob. All right. They have a Daryl. All right. So we have to get out of the way and allow God to do his work in them the same way he does in us. And then accountability. What was so refreshing about her, because I did a video on Derek Jackson. It wasn't so much about her about a year ago. And I got to go back and even watch that. Go back and watch that too, where I talk about the red flags, the things to look out for. But I love that she took accountability, because we have to take accountability. If you're still blaming the narcissist and you're not able to individuate from them, you have to individuate from that narcissist. The narcissist wants to keep you in that false reality. So you have to come out of that world. But if you are still blaming them, and if you're not able to take accountability for your part, you will stay stuck much longer. And it's time for you to rise up. Okay. Right. You don't see us getting on here. We talk about our sin. We don't blame them. We don't blame them because we was blinded. Now, we ain't saying what they did was right either. We're not saying that God is not a God of justice either, but we talk about these things so we can heal from them. But we have accountability. There's a level of accountability because we walked into those situations. Okay. But what they did was still wrong. Do you understand me? And but she is on her glow up and on her level up, and you can see it. Okay. And then this is why you have to sever the soul ties. Okay. She talked about the soul ties, the trauma bonds. You deal with the soul ties in the spirit, and then you break the trauma bond in your mind. No contact. See, she went back in, she fell for the Hoover, and then she had to find out that poop stank. That's many of us, because we learn about narcissists, and then we think that we can go back into the situation, because then you think that you can control a narcissist's demons. No, that's not how it works. You got to be careful when you allow yourself to be Hoovered back into these situations, because these demons ain't playing with you. Do you understand me? And then don't allow anyone to break you. If you read my chapter in the book, I talked about, my chapter was Broken Chains. All right, get your copy if you have it. In chapter 7, thank you, husband. In chapter 7, I talk about broken chains. All right, you got to go back and break every chain of narcissist abuse. Okay, they want you in that soul tie, but don't ever let somebody break you. You walk away with your dignity. I'm telling you, the most boss, the most coldest, boldest thing that you can do when you figure out that you're with a narcissist is walk away with your dignity intact. Do you understand me? And go no contact. That is the most coldest, boldest, boss thing that you can ever do, is go somewhere and sit down and heal. And for a season, it's going to feel like you are losing. And the season, it's going to feel like everything is raining on your head. But in due time, if you do your work, you will glow up. You will level up. Do you understand me? That is the most coldest, bossest thing that you could ever do. And then your accountability, her accountability and submission to the Most High is what's helping her heal faster. That's what helped us heal faster. When we take accountability, when we say, God, we submit our will, we give up our will for your will. Heal my heart, transform my mind, conform my will to your will. Okay. And then the enemy will realize that they mess with the wrong one. This one can't be broken because this one has the backing of the kingdom of heaven. They mess with the wrong one. You should tell the enemy, you mess with the wrong one. What the enemy meant for evil, God turned it around for my good. So we got to go back and recognize the signs of unhealed trauma. All right. Because narcissists will use financial abuse, emotional abuse, gaslighting, love bombing, brainwashing, whatever they can to break you. That's the goal. Okay. That's the goal. And then don't forget that this is the year of the scapegoat. I declare that this was the year of the scapegoat. You're going to see many of these stories come out where people are getting exposed, people that this world loves, because this world loves narcissists. The world loves its own. Narcissist is part of this world system. So then you're going to start to see that many people are coming out of these demonic covenants, coming out of these demonic relationships. There's a mass exodus going on out of this because God is telling his children to come up out of this. So this will be your year. This will be your year of transformation, of revelation, all right, of rising. If you stay in God, God has declared this is a year of restoration. If you make God your footstool, if you make God your God, he will make your enemies your footstool. He'll prepare a table right in front of them. And we can see that this is what he is doing with this young lady. All right. So they lied about you. They may have talked about you, but this is your year to rise up. Don't retaliate. Look, give it to God. Forgive them. and then go on, and God will rescue you. Do you understand me? God bless you. So Solomon, you want to pray us out?
I'm the visitor. Ray, you just gonna close your eyes, act like you don't hear me. She act like she got a force field, like she can't hear me all of a sudden. All right. Y'all, we just come together just saying thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you for this time of worship, and then just sharing Miss Jackson's story, and we want other people just to understand that this is many of our story. This is the story that we know. That's why it's familiar to us. But we pray that we continue to break the chains of narcissistic abuse. We pray that we continue to uplift people and show that it is such thing as love after narcissistic abuse. A lot of people don't believe that they'll find that love, but I like to say that it's always love, because you loved us. So you know what I'm saying? So it's always love around us. Even though the narcissists or people like that, evil people don't love us, it's always love around. So we have to understand that it's life after narcissistic abuse, and we want to be an example. We're not the example. We want to be an example to that being done, so more people can see kingdom marriages and kingdom ministries and things like that. More stories being revealed. So we pray for Miss Jackson and her children and everything she has going on. I want to pray that she gets the getting lift up. We can see it right before you can see the glow about her. We want to pray also for Shannon and myself and others that have been through narcissist abuse or any kind of abuse, whether it's financial or emotional or anything like that. We want to pray for all of us. So we all on this healing journey, and healing is not easy, but we want to make sure that with you, oh Heavenly Father, that we continue to work on ourselves. We seek counseling. We seek the people that's trying to lift us up and stop being around the snakes and the haters, oh Heavenly Father. So even though we got haters in our camp, oh Heavenly Father, we praying that our haters become our biggest supporters, because sometimes they think they're doing something, but they're really not doing anything. All they're doing when they go post videos and do things about us, all they're doing is promoting us, and people are like, oh, let me go check them out. And then they go come over there and check us out and check you out and be able to see things that's going on. So we want to make sure that we doing this the right way and bring more people to Christ. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's about breaking soul ties. It's about bringing more people to Christ. It's about talking about kingdom businesses, talking about kingdom marriages, talking about kingdom finances, things like that. That's what's going to change, because this world system, you see how things are going. So we want to continue praying for our children as well. You see all the things that's going on with the children. I think just last night, I'm not even making this up, I think I had 4 or 5 Amber Alerts right here in Texas went off between 2 a.m. and about 8 a.m. They had Amber Alerts going off. So we want to pray for these children that are being taken from their home, whether it's by parents or just about, some other evil people. We want to pray that these children are returned to their home. We want to pray that you protect our children. We want to pray that the people that are in charge continue to protect their children and look out for them and look out for the warning signs and the red flags, especially dealing with an evil person that's trying to take our children. So we want to pray for them and lift them up in prayer. We want to pray for everybody that's watching this live premiere and going to watch the replay and everything. We want to pray that you don't just watch it and don't learn. Go ahead and learn something from it and take what you learn and put it into your life, and it'll make you better. It'll make you better. So we thank you for everything. We thank you for the lights. We thank you for the water. We thank you for the homes, the cars we drive. We thank you for the food we eat. We thank you for the knowledge that we have, the things that we learning, and we also thank you for this healing journey. I want to thank my wife Shannon for having us on here. You know what I'm saying? And just having this topic, to come out and talk, because I think this need to be talked about even more. So we praying we come together the coming months and everything, just being able to come together and do more shows like this, because it's needed. And I think more people need to see kingdom marriages and kingdom love on Front Street. We want to just hear about all the evilness and all the divorces and stuff like that all the time. There's a place for it, but we're praying that more people begin to learn and understand that it is love as narcissistic abuse. So this and many other blessings we ask in your son Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
Amen. Hallelujah. Yay. Hallelujah. Look, what else? Now, this is the time where we want to talk to people. All right, so put in the comments if you enjoy Solomon being here. If you want to see more message, put a 1 in the chat. All right, put that in the chat. All right, I want to hear your thoughts and any topics that you want us to cover. Okay, any topics that you want us to cover together, please put them in the comments, and then we'll come back together. We're thinking about some other things. we're thinking about some other things. Don't forget, if you shameless plug, all right, if you are in the Houston area, all right, don't forget to reach out to Solomon for real estate, all right. Follow him over on Faith Based Workplace. We're over there on Wednesdays, or he goes live on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. CST. So don't forget to subscribe to his channel as well. He brings the word, he brings laughter, and just like Latarius said, right? You know, you're at a place of healing, a different point where you can laugh about that. And Solomon brings the laughter, he brings wisdom, he brings revelation, and he does it in a way that only he can. And I teach only the way that I can. So if you're not subscribed to either of our channels, feel free to join. All right. And then if you want to, and then if you want to go even deeper in your healing process, don't forget to join us. I have a group mentorship program for women who are recovering from narcissist abuse. Okay, so we meet twice a month. It's just a beautiful space. We met on Thursday, and as always, it was just a beautiful time. So we'll be back on June 8th. All right, so you can register. Wherever you register, you get 2 sessions are included. The portal, I haven't been as active on there because we really just been tackling hard subjects. We talked about, well, I won't tell you what I talked about because you should join there, but we had an awesome session. All right. And then don't forget on June 1st is World Narcissistic Awareness Day. All right. So I come in on Rock Your Crown, and we come in and we actually wear our crowns. I wish we wear our crowns, our real crowns. All right. And we rock our crowns, and we talk about narcissistic abuse and just how the healing process. So that'll be Thursday, June 1st at 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. And this year's theme is from hiding to healing. So go ahead and get your crown on Amazon, all right, for the low, so you'll be good to go. Okay. And it's by donation. You can give $1 or any other amount that Holy Spirit lays on your heart. All right. But we come in, we have breakouts, and we have a good time. All right. So anything else, Solomon, before we go?
No, I just want to say I enjoyed my time. I didn't really watch part 2 as much. I watched part 1, but we watched enough, and I knew about the story. So it was an awesome topic, and I looked at doing this again on narc-free living, and then doing it on faith-based workplace as well. So thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be able to talk and discuss this, from a man point of view. So I appreciate that, and God bless each one of y'all. Hopefully you have a good Sabbath and a good rest of your day, and you celebrate Memorial Day and all that stuff. Have a good, hopefully you're off on Monday. You can do some barbecue and stuff on Memorial Day. Hopefully you get some sausage and pork chops or something. That's what you're doing. Or eat you a good salad. I don't know. Do what you got to do, but have you some fun and enjoy yourself.
Yes. All right, y'all. Enjoy your Sabbath. Thank you for spending this time with us, and we'll see you back live next week and live on Solomon's channel. No, one more. My one. Oh. What? I can do a mean electric slide. Don't invite me to your electric slide. A Holy Spirit electric slide all over this. All right, it's time to go. All right.
Get off here. She needs some food, y'all. I need to eat.
I need some sustenance. Hallelujah. God bless you.